Hello there, welcome to another video. This is a game I was sent on Discord by Granuli, which is a 2v2 on expanding fronts on Ice Lake, and this has to be the worst looking lake of ice I've ever seen in this game. The state of it. It just seems massive. So much of the map just being denied, and for what? You get nothing out of it. Save these 3 cupas. Good luck building your food processor for them. To build it all the way over here. A long walk into the Arctic to get them. But anyway, we've got Granuli and Fluffy Rabbit taking on Kissam and Risk. So Granuli here is going to be playing Naboo in the orange. We've got Fluffy Rabbit playing Naboo in the Sorry, what? Why are they both Naboo? Anyway, Kissam is on the Confederacy and big Risk here on the Galactic Empire. Not a lot of food on this map. It's not the Ice Lake that we traditionally know about, that's full of nerfs all over it, but a little bit barren. A couple of nerfs, some berries to get into. Doesn't really look like there's any lure or anything, so it's going to be kind of a slow pace tech level 1, and that should be my cue to speed the game up, because I don't want to sit here talking about absolutely nothing forever. Because probably not played this game long enough to ever fall into the trap of forgetting to build prefab shelters with these Trade Federation looking workers for Confederacy, since they don't have the TF population bonus thing. Don't know where this boy's off to. Fluffy Rabbit got the medic out already, scouting to find the food that doesn't exist. Long distance, and it's not even gotten his food processor. Has he just prioritised the medic over it? Oh dear. Is there another medic? What's going on with his carbon? What's he been doing? Oh, he built a nursery for his 2 nerfs. Oh, that's a harsh 2-1. Pretty much always going to want to eat these when there's less than 4. And particularly when there's not really any other good food sources, you kind of just want to eat them as well. In this instance, you'd probably, if you had 4, you could long distance, I suppose, but you probably wanted to eat 1, then long distance. But 2 is too few. That's a bad time for the eco. And if we go into here, you can see that Fluffy kind of behind workers. It's such a bad mistake to make, because you can't keep your worker production going properly. You see Risk seems to be saving his for later. Bold in the team game environment, because then you get scouted and some people are just, you can see the anxiety has just hit Risk there as he's decided, I must eat these now. I have been scouted. Because you don't want some try hard with their scout roaming into your base and just killing the nerfs, because if they kill the nerfs you don't get the food from it. It's pretty much a rule applied to like all animals in the game. If it dies by military unit hand, no food for some reason. I guess they don't have the expertise to extract it. They shot through the guts or something and covered all of the meat and bacteria. And there's going to have to be farms, because there's not really any much more food on this map. Fluffy Rabbit is still on the long distance. This is some defiant gameplay. Building a food processor all the way over here. Interesting. Quite far from the command center. And you can see that that medic's found itself a Tuskcat. Probably going to be luring that to Kissam's carbon, I would think. Looks like you kind of forgotten about it. This seems to be just running round in a triangle at the moment. One day it'll drop off the Tuskcat. That looks like a move command. Guess I'm trying to get on top of the Tuskcat quickly. It doesn't really last long enough. It's nothing compared to a Rancor. It's like got 40 HP compared to Rancor's 150. And Risk here, got a lot of his farms down, thinking about getting the troop center down, so he's going to be playing a sort of rush opener here. I don't know if that was a prefab shelter or an ore processor, probably just a prefab that he's cancelled there. A lot of workers on carbon here. Have a quick look at where things stand now. It's Granuli here with the 28 workers, so I'm curious. He's had a bit of a lapse, is he? He's ready to tech up though, and he's got his power core on the way, troop centre down, so it could be a pretty quick rush from him. Maybe he can get on top of Granuli here. Granuli's got a very nice base though. Look how easy this is to wall. Kind of just these three sort of entry areas. Risk's not too bad either. It is a lot more obviously open though. Oh, stop changing all the audio. It's freaking me out. It's not the sound I expect when I see Galactic Empire Trooper recruits to fire. And Kiss Em and Fluffy Rabbits kind of in their own worlds here at the moment. Fluffy getting a lot of walling down. He is dropping a troop centre now, ultimately. And Kiss Em probably just going to look to T3, I'm assuming, if he's on the Nova. And troops from Risk going to be heading out now across the map. Risk doing a little bit of raiding here. Scout is going to go down. And just 3 troopers, but you can see as it's a very easy wall at the front here, so the entrance choke is limited, and then, yeah. A little opportunity really to get in here. He's not going to feel compelled to get any turrets up. He might still be in T1 though, yeah, he is T1. It's maybe why he's being so desperate with the wall at the moment. Try to postpone things as much as possible. On to Nova very early, so interesting movement. Playing for that tech level 3, I'm assuming. He's got a lot of farms. Adding a lot more farms too as well, so maybe just going to try and defend a little bit with his troopers and just let Risk overcommit to troopers, I suppose, and try and get ahead of him in T3. You can see Risk is absolutely snuck in here and no turrets. He's going to get 1 worker, probably going to get 3 workers here. Oh, a little bit of micro throwing them away, but he didn't go back to the one he was shooting. So it's only going to be 2. Oh, he does get it. So 3 workers. Trooper recruit's going to clean that up. Really hits T2, so he's sort of mucked up his T1, I think. Remember, he had so many workers on carbon there that we noticed earlier. So the distribution was just a bit off, and the farms have just come too late. And you can see a bit of a crazy wall being built here by Kiss Em. Not to be outdone though, Fluffy Rabbit's got the same, but he did drop that troop centre. And he's making a Jedi temple now. He's got a turret at the front here. Oh, just denying these troops getting in. Back they go to find an alternative route. Is there one here though? No. Where are they going? Who knows? Got Risk going to be organising another attack here onto Granuli. But Granuli's pretty much full walled himself now. Talking about, is there not a gap here? No, there's a tree. I don't think there's any way in. So Risk's maybe going to want to stop, and he's already gotten the memo. Spaceport, Mech Factory, and even a War Center. He's getting all the tech level 2 buildings here. Granuli's halfway to tech level 3. Risk is about to push the button. He can do that right now. There he goes. So Granuli's going to get a little bit of an edge going into T3, and he's not going to take any damage from these troopers really, because there's no way to get into the base. And it looks like all the players are really just going to... Here's the classic Fluffy Rabbit going to be sending a rush to the other player. Looks like he's heading straight for Risk space. I think Risk will be tech level 3 by the time that gets there. And even more so, he's going to have his troopers there. And his troopers actually could end up... No, he's going to send them to the... He's still looking for angles. I guess he doesn't want these troops at home. They're not going to be that useful for him. But there's not really any way in. Oh, can harass these farms though. And he's just going to shoot the power core and be annoying. Oh, just 2 ships passing in the night here. These 5 troopers passing the 5 from Fluffy Rabbit. They're just going to walk at his base. He might actually get a couple of kills here. Oh, but he's colliding with the buildings. And you can see the fire is being produced here by Granuli. Did get that power core at half health. I can't believe they put that sound in. That like dying scream sound. That thing's in everything. I don't know what the deal is with it. I've just seen so many movies and it's like the stock dying man sound. It's in Star Wars as well, to be fair. On that Jabba float thing above the Sarlacc. One of the guys makes that terrible scream. The air's going to arrive here, but the anti-air troopers are already out and ready. And looking around here, we can see that Kisem now T3 is going to be putting on the pressure now. There's that turret at the front, but you can kind of just walk past it into the base here. There's another turret up the top here now, though. Fluffy Rabbit already got his spaceport down and thinking about trading. A bit early for that. He's got Grenadier as well. He's split these strike mechs up, though. He's microing onto the Grands. Yep. Doesn't really take much damage at all. And Risk's coming in here too with strike mechs because he knows that Granuli here is just full walled and he's built these 2 strikes, so he's just getting involved as well. And hey, it's fair because Fluffy just sent some troops at him, so. A lot of strikes arriving into Fluffy's base and threatening to overwhelm him here. You know what, I'm always anxious that the game sounds just too loud, so I'm going to turn down just a smidgen. Because there's a lot of sounds coming our way now. And Fluffy letting Granuli know that he's got double mechs here, so he sent his fighters to go and deal with it. Not really the best. The fighters probably be better out just raiding. Let's be honest. They don't really do any damage. The turrets and the Grens did everything. He didn't even need the fighters. The fighters need to be out there doing damage. Killing workers and stuff. Do not do enough damage to strike mechs to justify it. And Risk going to be sending a few workers over here to get a command center. We're really going to try and expand a little bit. There's almost this like little psychological thing that can happen to you. You know, when you wall yourself in quite tight like this, that you don't like boom enough. You don't build enough command centers and stuff. But there is going to be the big looming threat of Granuli going off to tech level 4. And in case you don't know, Royal Naboo get like all their farm upgrades for free. It's really bloody strong. And they're going to get a lot of food. So I need to watch out for him sneaking up to T4, especially with that new command center next to the second Nova pile. And a lot of fighters here in Risk space. He's going to feel the need to get an anti-air turret and not really just lean on these anti-air troopers because they could get lured out and the fighters will very quickly win off trade with them. It's really nice this, like, look at this ore and his Novas are all together here and these 2 turrets are going to cover that and his, that's pretty much like 70-80% of his economy right here covered by these 2 turrets. Quite nice. But he's going to have to expand out, but he's already got that covered, right? What the hell is this, like, scouting Padawan with a holocron from Fluffy? Just finding the command center. Just pure nonsense. And more strike mechs sliding into the base here. There's a mech destroyer now from Granuli helping out Fluffy Rabbit. Is Fluffy Rabbit still T2? He is T2. Too busy building crazy walls and spaceports at the corners. I think he should be on his way to T3. I think he could spaceport it. He's got a lot of like surplus stuff. He's got a bit of Nova, he's got a lot of carbon. He could sort of split the difference there, get up to 800, 200 and get himself to T3. Take the pressure off Granuli and let Granuli play the game here, rather than having to send units over to help him. A lot of anti-air just walking in the middle of the map here, but 1 MD from Risk. I wonder if he's going to be sending up his artillery. So he's going to get a push going on Granuli here to try and stop him going off to tech level 4. Really nice when he can grab this ore as well. So if he builds a fortress here, basically just he can get the ore back for free, right? Because he's going to cut his opponent off that. So this is like no lost ore for him. And Kissem's pressure's kind of just falling apart now. He's got a few, he's doing kind of okay with his eco. He's got a bit of walling going on. He's got a second command center. Could maybe use a third one now. Kind of really went for Fluffy to get himself to T3. He's clicked the button now. And we can see that fortress is already up here. What is with this Padawan? Was the holo there? I hope it was there. It wasn't just scouting this fortress. How many holos is he on? 2, this will be the 3rd one. 4th one, actually. He's getting all the holos, and he's got his trace, getting that big Nova economy started. See a cheeky little Dark Trooper here. Shield generator built. So he can make some mechs, and he's making some bounty hunters as well. Just making good use of the fortress. Bounty hunters are pretty sick. Particularly when you've got some mech army, because they take like no damage from mech destroyers, and you're kind of forcing your opponent to build mech destroyers. Of course, you can't really hit this power core because the building's in the way. You can see I'm pretty sure he's clicked on it with that artillery, but it's hitting these two buildings that are in front of it. But this is a lot of pressure at the front, and you can see it's forced the units from Granuli. He's built all these strike mechs. He has a few upgrades and stuff, but what's tricky for him is that he's got his farms here, and he's got his Nova here. I don't know if he's on his way to T4. He is a third of the way there. That's pretty much why this push is happening in the first place, to kind of slow that down. Otherwise, they're going to have a huge problem with all this T4 air just sliding about, killing all their workers faster than they can rebuild them. And just fluffy things going on in the fluffy base here. Cheeky turret next to the other turret. Whole gang of Padawans and stuff. I'd like to see him going to like some knights or something with all this extra, you know, Nova he's got. I think a big gang of knights could do some pretty good damage. You can absolutely afford it. Pummel here as well, helping knock down this wall. You can maybe send the Dart Troopers. Well, actually, not with those strike mechs he made, actually. You may actually have to take it slow here, rather than run anything in and kill off some workers. Maybe wants to knock off this spot, though. He's killed off the power core here, but there is a one in the back. One air base here to get shields at the very least. As he hits T4. So he should be getting shields there. He has queued up fast fighter on this one that's unpowered. I wonder if it finishes quicker than shields does. Nope. No chance. Shields is pretty slow as well. Is it gaining on it though? We'll keep an eye on it. Not really much going on the other side of the map anyway. Granuli doing alright holding this so far. Just needs to get his T4 air on the go. No, it's never gaining, it's like 20% behind all the time. I see the Dark Troopers have slid. I don't know what happened to Strike Knights, did he lose them? Oh, he sent them to raid. Oh wow, what the hell? This snuck past me. So Risk actually taking a ton of damage from this. A lot of workers have gone down. He's just not paid attention. He's finally got a Might Destroyer out, but that's a lot of dead workers. A Risk of 12 workers behind now. You can see that he's trying to help here. Got some MDs and some fighters here helping Risk deal with this pressure. I guess it's not too bad because it did let him, you know, throw these Dark Troopers around and harass the workers a bit. But he is sort of getting pushed away from this position. I think what Granuli could have really used here is a fortress. There we go. Because he's T4, he can get the cannons out. And he wants to get the cannons on top of the shield generator before it risks T4. And we can see the fighters on their way now to do more economic damage to Risk. This is looking quite dire for. Oh, Fluffy Rabbit here as well with the strike mechs. Killing off a lot of workers. It's really tough for them here. It's just a huge amount of workers that have died. And it's not even really workers dying to the air as well. It's strike mechs, which is crazy. I know this pressure is still here. Once the air count reaches a certain threshold and he maybe gets advanced fighter and maybe gets his armor as well, you'll be able to just clear it with the air. Air and cannons will clear that entire thing. Not really sure what the out is here for Risk. Sam as well, not really up to much at the moment. He's built a lot of stuff at home, but he's just not using it. He's not putting the pressure on, right? If he was just here killing off this wall for Fluffy and putting the pressure on, Fluffy wouldn't really be able to freely move around Risk space with his strike mechs at the moment. Just the classic tyranny of T4 air. There's a cannon out now though. really be good to get himself like a couple of masters. You can see some units moving out, so he might get a forward started. I'm surprised Fluffy has not grabbed this holocron. He's got all these units at home though, just bring them up. Like, this is a substantial army that could probably kill off Fluffy Rabbit. He doesn't have anything for it. But it's just so much ghosting here, just sitting in the base. Why do you need defensive artillery? Just send them up, get the pressure going, help your teammate out that way. You see there's very little Risk can do at the moment. He's probably trying to get the advanced turrets. Although, I don't even know if he's got a research center, does he? I think he does. No, he doesn't. He's got 2,000 ore though. I think Risk's maybe a little bit fed up with how things are going. See some good micro here. He's pretty much committed to microing his units forever. He's maybe had words with Kisem, and that's why he's suddenly started doing things here. Because it is looking dire, and it's going to be hard for him to get back into the game. He does need to maybe sell some of the ore, just get himself a research center and get advanced turret for one. That's going to strengthen this push substantially, and help him defend himself at home as well. And then he can maybe slowly boom back into it. Because if he could just keep the pressure on Granuli a little bit and stop Granuli influencing the other side, and just maybe Kisem here could just roll over Rabbit. Because Rabbit doesn't really look like he's set up too well to defend the push. There's a good angle here for these cannons though. A couple of the MDs have gone down as well, so they can't really stop. So wait till he's had these 3 cannons to make sure he does kill off the shield generator. And that's going to significantly weaken this position here for Risk. Risk could repair it. Does have a lot of ore, but no. Not really responding in time. To be honest, he probably needs these workers doing things rather than sitting idle. Doesn't have a lot of them. We are rebuilding here. Guess I'm taking a sweet, sweet time to get through this wall and get on top of his opponent here. Now, with all this artillery, you could just attack around the trees here and just widen this as well and walk in. Another air raid here. I still do not see advanced turrets though. No research center. So, kind of little they can do about it. I don't know what's in these transports. They like try to meme and block things. Is there actually units in them? I don't think there is, is there? Don't know why I'm asking questions when I can just find out and they're absolutely empty. I don't think they're really needed. There's no advanced turret. There's very little to kill as well. I guess I'm sending Risk some carbon here. But again, there's a lot of workers active here for Granuli and just none for Risk, so slowly but surely this position getting eliminated. And he's now able to influence Kasem's side, and he's not really got any pressure on the Rabbit yet either. He's thrown a few strikes away here. And Rabbit starting to push Kasem away. I don't really see why though, there's so many units here. He just needs to stand here. And then he's got like a big entry point to a lot of the base. However, losing a lot of workers, and he's still sending a lot of resources over to Risk, try to get Risk back into the game here. We're really kind of sleeping at the moment when he could be clearing up a lot more of this, and if he just got these units out on the map, he could just be stopping Risk ever getting back into the game. A little bit of a mistake from his part. I'm not sure what he's up to at the moment. Rebuilding some farms and stuff. Fluffy expanding his eco further down this way as well. Saying he might need some help. He technically would, but Kasem is just on a holiday here. Did he get himself to T4? He is. Let's see some cannons from him. He can kill off the fortress and stuff. We don't have advanced turrets yet either. Risk's finally gotten them. Might be tricky for him though. If there comes like Jedi after this or something. Jedi is really the next, especially if your opponent's economy is that bad. Like Jedi are the way to go here. Because there's going to be so much less units shooting at them. Still, this guy's been T4 for a wee while. Players need to prioritise their anti-air for sure. And a bit of a skirmish here from Fluffy Rabbit, but unfortunately he's throwing strike mechs into heavy mech destroyers. That is not the way to go. And artillery as well. A few Jedi coming in here, they're going to have to go into melee mode it would seem, because they're not converting anything. There they go, they're converting the cannons. Is he going to save his fortress? Nope. Oh dear. A few heavy troopers running in here as well. Sort of just stalling, but not really finding the correct answer to this force. The bounty hunters here are already ready. Strike mechs, I'm going to kill them off though. Does lose them both and the Jedi get away. Low health. Oh, no. Deary me. Where's all these medics that he builds traditionally? He could be healing these Jedi up. There's still this little gang of air running around and some more air and a few MDs coming over here to intercept this army from Kisem. And Risk just building workers, I assume. Trying to get back into the game here. It's had a harsh time. And a lot of air now from Fluffy Rabbit as well. Air pretty good against this army because there's just not enough anti-air. Needs to be some some turrets. If only we had turtles with an anti-air missile strapped to them. Some turrets. He needs to turret move his way forward. Leapfrog with turrets. That's the. I'm so confused. I've not made a video in a wee while. I forgot all my own terminologies. But yeah, just move slowly with turrets. Like crawl towards your opponent with turrets. The strongest thing you can really do. Because the units can be converted at range, they can be, to be honest, the air does a disgusting amount of damage to heavy weapons. It's never made any sense to me. I could get maybe the bombers doing it, but like the fighters, it's always boggled my mind. Because these are meant to be like the counter. But technically these are the counter to these, it's bizarre. Mech Destroyer's coming in here. It's not really a favourable position. He does get this fortress up though. He starts stalling for him to finish the shield generator. He's sort of invited the Mech Destroyers to the left hand side when he's got the cannons on the right hand side, but Risk is going to just walk up to them because he's not pulling his MDs. He's not mirroring them, right? He should be mirroring them and standing in front of these. Oh no, he's like moved in a position where only the two can fire and then stop the rest of them coming this way. He just needed to stand at the front of the fort. The other side of things, you got Kisem here, still getting it in this position. Risk is holding here, but there's a lot of stuff just rallying across the map to him. And the Nubian MDs aren't too terrible. They're alright. They're not amazing, but it's not like Risk can afford all of the upgrades that he gets as Emperor right now. He's too poor. And he's going to struggle here if these cannons kill off any of his infrastructure as well. I don't know if he can really defend his own cannons at the moment. Still constant battling here on the Fluffy Rabbit Kisem side here. See those strike mechs sliding into the back of the base now, and I don't think there's really much to deal with them. They could get off a lot of worker kills, but just standing in this spot. He needs to get right into the heart of the economy, right? Medium turrets here from the Rabbit. See a lot of these MDs surging forward to kill off some of the cannons. Same thing, this kind of just getting swarmed by a lot more Mech Destroyers just because Grenouille's got a lot more economy here. See Fluffy, oh classic Risk, he's got one strike mech in here just killing off workers. He's just rallying them from this area that he just kind of didn't kill it off. You see it's just sending them into little spots in the economy, trying to slow things down a bit. He's desperately repairing this fortress, but he's ran out of ore now at this point after getting the advanced turrets, the second fort, repairing it a bit. maybe some upgrades. We did get all those upgrades though. 281 HP, but not a lot of MDs here. And the upgrades aren't going to mean much if there's like a 5-to-1 ratio of Naboo MDs. We still waiting for Kiss M to break through this position. We've got some scouts and some medics joining the front here from Fluffy Rabbit. Pretty much one of every unit showing up in response here. Risk still struggling, doesn't have a lot of workers on Carbon. A few idle here. Could definitely use these guys off, get them Carbon. That wouldn't be amiss to build in like 1 or 2 assault mechs here as well, just to sit in the shield, because he's got all the upgrades, so you have a lot more extra health on them. That bonus damage AoE will really help here. A lot more air. Air can kind of just sit on top of this position because there's no turret, and that's going to cut off a lot of his workers too. And these cargo freighters waiting for a spaceport that doesn't exist. Again, Kissem really not. He needs to just stand, just walk forward and hold that position. This is why you need the turrets. The turrets just coming in. There's one. They never got advanced turrets though, which is crazy. Playing double Naboo. See, a lot of MDs now have assembled here in Risk Space. He hasn't really got any backup infrastructure. He's trying to get some X factories over here. He's kind of lost all this Nova here on the right hand side of his base. I think this Nova definitely should have gotten some assault mechs out. There's maybe like a slight fear at the back of his mind that he just can't build them because it's you know, Naboo, but I think he needed them there to hold. And at the very least you can force your opponent to go and spend some Nova on that. I got an extra 50 health now on the mech destroyers, 200 now. And there being so many, it's very hard to contest. These cannons are a little bit over ambitious though, he could maybe snipe those. He's got a decent sort of standing amount of MDs now. They've got all those upgrades, but he does let him take the command center. I personally would be about here. You could just one tap each of these, slow things down. In fact, to be honest, you could take the trade as well. A lot of the MDs are just sitting here at the back. This is perfect time to fight. But he's clocked onto that and he's pulled the rest of them now. They got the same range. Risk has a little bit more armor though, and obviously the extra 81 HP. Again, Kissim's kind of just funneled himself into this spot and not really done much with it. Whereas Fluffy's just got so much economy all around the place. And even though he's building the wrong units for this army, he's getting a lot of them. And Risk probably could have gotten himself a shield with the spaceport. This would have been a good move, especially if he went and killed off those cannons. A few heavy MDs showing up here from Kissam, helping out a little bit. Risk lucky that he's not found these workers with the fighters. The attrition's really kicking in here though. The fighters are going to have to come and help out. I don't think there's any turrets in range and stuff on a couple of animals. You can retreat to this turret. Oh, there we go. Some assault mechs now. That's really turning the tide here. And strike mechs are absolutely not going to cut it against these. This is some nice unit. Some nice units filtering in here from Kisem. They're really getting the damage going now. It's a good amount of pressure. So they've actually, it feels like they've got a win condition now, right? They can stall out Granuli a lot more, maybe kill off Rabbit, and then they can maybe, you know, gang up on Granuli. Because Granuli is ultimately still, you know, like so far ahead at the moment. Oh no, he's converted a couple of them. Still, he's not converted them all. I think he only has about 2 masters. He might want to build more. But Kassem is undeterred. He just needs to keep throwing in units here. Risk is holding, pushing these units back a little bit here. I think he should really cut off the cannons. Just got some workers here. And it seems like he's built more masters to try and deal with these assault mechs. But this feels like a lot more pressure just being in this spot now. Rather than sitting around here. Because you get this Nova. And then you've got all these little walkways into the base in their economy. Fluffy Rabbit, pretty rich. Really not too rich. Seems like he's been fighting, neglecting a few of his idols and stuff. He's kind of spent all his Nova on air and all that. Not really set up trade as such, which is probably because it's like one of the things you can do with Fluffy Rabbit pretty easily. Remember, Fluffy's got all these holocrons, so look at how many masters he's managed to get out there. So that's maybe going to completely shut down any chance of them pushing through this position now. You can just keep converting stuff. Sort of slamming that window shut, where they could have won the game at the top here. See, everything's going to get converted now. It's always been a looming threat though, with Fluffy Rabbit having 4 holocrons all game. So to be honest, our best chance is going to be pushing Granuli out of risk space now, I suppose. Still not completely removed Kassem from the spot though. It's going to need some anti-Jedi though, a lot of it. And he has Confederacy. I'd like to see the troopers. They do so much damage to the Jedi. That's 6+5 repeaters. They're good against like all the armies here, really. Kind of skip that stop. That's kind of like what you would do first, really, is Confed. So, like early T4, you go troopers, you get them online because they're cheap and super effective. Then you build all this other stuff, really. It'd be worth their weight in gold here against these masters. Well. A lot of the units sort of burning out here. Really never really built like a lot of MDs in the front. You see how long it takes for all these mechs to get down and reinforce this position? And even with a shield generator here, you've got all the extra health on all these MDs. 2 fortresses now, not really any cannons to knock them out of this spot. So a lot of the units here for Kassem have died. Been converted to Fluffy Rabbit side. Risk has a lot of carbon, but not really any food. He's having to migrate more workers away. Fluffy Rabbit's actually got quite a lot of units at this point. Kind of forgotten all about all these strike mechs that could be out just raiding. They could be spelling disaster for his opponents if they got into the economies. Like particularly Kassem's farms here. Devastating for them. They are moving here, but they're gonna not gonna fight the assault mech, are they? Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? The master gonna convert it. Yes, it is. I'm not really sure where this is going to go. I'd say there's a slight chance that, you know, Kassem's just going to call it there, I guess. Can't really deal with the masters. Getting pushed out here. And he's going to resign. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty dicey for them. I think like just having all that holocron Nova for Fluffy Rabbit is It's a ticking time bomb, right? And you can get all those masters out. But interesting game. GG, well played to both sides there. It was an enjoyable one to watch, and if you like that video, please consider liking the video on YouTube here. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from myself. It really helps the channel grow and get to more people. And if you want to play games with us, you can join our Discord. So our GBG Discord there, that's down in the description link below. Play on Vuble. And it's Expanding Fronts mod, so you'll find their Discord as well. Everything about the mod, you can get help and technical help and all sorts of stuff. And if you want to support the channel in a different way, maybe buy me a coffee, find a PayPal link down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.